So this looks like a fountain, but unfortunately it's not. It's a burst pipe. So that's the way we start our Monday morning here. At least we've got lots of clouds, and we've got Simon and Lucas back. Simon, looky.
Bye.
So they'll start opening it up and we'll see how quickly we can repair that. By the way, we are only 70 subscribers away from 4,000. I didn't plan on how to celebrate it. I would like to get your comments, and then obviously if it can happen within the next 2 days before New Year or the next day before New Year, that would be wonderful. That would make my day, absolutely. Driving away, just bought some spare pipes and things. The day took a quick turn. I had a appointment, and buying the pipes and things, before you know, the day is almost over. My car's battery started giving me problems in Swakopmund already. Then it didn't want to start today, so I had to get somebody to come and start me, and then I had to come into town and buy a battery. It's amazing for a small car with a small battery how expensive it is. I told the guys, you know, I'm not buying a truck battery, I'm buying this small battery. Smallest basically that you can find is what fits in this car. Sorry, bottles in the car. Anyway, so I decided to employ more people, and today, because we're not full blown at the office yet, and I still have time to look after them, and so I'm quickly going to pick up some more guys and see whether they'll be willing to work for half of the day, because half of the day is finished. Okay, so I quickly want to thank some people as well. I'll put the names below. These are the people that's making this video possible, employing these people. But I want to do two things quickly as well. Then after that, I want to show you why we are building a new swale and where it's going to go, and then I want to tell you something interesting that happened to me today. So the way of the water, I suppose, well, first of all, I was very surprised by the amount of water that came out of the swale. I hear from Lucas this morning that the guys said to him that they think they don't see the point of doing that work, building the swale, because they can never see it filling up. And then they were all very surprised when it did. So this is the one swale here. Now that filled up completely. The water came around here, around there, and then it filled up this place. Oh, there's a couple of drops falling on me. How wonderful. And it ran through the corn. Oh, the rain is coming faster now. I hope I can make this video finish before then. Okay, so, but what ended up happening is it ended up running down here full speed. Now whether it ran there or whether it ran here, same thing would have happened, I guess. Go through there, ran through the prickly pears, took a lot of soil. But what is interesting, because it ran through there, a lot of the prickly pears pushed out some new life. See, that one's got a whole new leaf on life there. It came down there, ran around the corner, and then burst through the branches here. And spilled out there. Now you can see the erosion is about 50 meters away from the swale, so the spillway works okay. The problem is that there's still a hell of a lot of water. It's water's way to collect and form a river, but you don't want the river here. You don't want the water to rush down into the river there below. You want it to collect. So this is the line that you see there. We'll walk with that line now, but that will come from my border there. I'll move the roads, I'll move what needs to be moved in order to make the road work. We'll cross this parking lot area for the stables. We'll cross it with a small swale, micro swale. We'll go up the slope a little bit if we can't build bigger swales, but we'll cross and we'll go all the way to the other side of the property. So this is a major decision, one that I've been contemplating for many years now, on exactly where I should build it. And so my choices was made here because it's 50 meters from that swale. There is now proven that there is enough flooding happening here to fill it, which is something good. And then I moved it up a little bit just so that you can see here it crosses this side pit, it crosses this road that goes down to the pigs. Left enough space between it and the new pig pen, because at some stage in the river there will be a big dam, and you'll need a vehicle to cross it, where we will fill up the river enough to break the banks, and that will happen. I'll show you that in the video tomorrow. And anyway, so the line goes here, here. Then this is, you'll remember this is where we place some sticks to catch the water. The sticks will remain there. In fact, we added a bit extra, but we hope the water doesn't fall on the camera. It's raining as we speak, or dropping as we speak. This first gully is also where our exit pipe is from the previous swale. So our swivel pipe from that swale runs into this gully here, and so that will then run into this dam here. Alright, I need to get that dumpy level out of the rain. Here we didn't mark, well, we marked it with bricks, but we didn't mark it on the ground nicely, so you'll just have to trust me. It's going across here, and then crossing this valley here. Okay, from there it's always interesting that when you use a level on land, it doesn't quite follow where you expected it to follow. It goes a little bit up here, it feels to me, but when you use the level, it's not up, it's on contour. Goes here, this brick is one of the markings, and then that brick is one of the markings there below the bush there. Okay, and then it goes here. Now that, just for contrast, that is the previous swale there, and then goes around here, and then the bush is quite strong now, but we'll chop and drop it. This is the beginning of a wash, and then there's a proper wash again. So we'll cross both of them, adding loads and loads of places where water can rest. And then behind that is the road. So let's see if I can get there. See, this is the second wash that it will, the third or fourth wash that it will cross somewhere here. You can see there's the river. This is how far the water gets pushed up. So the water will get pushed up almost to where our next swale is from the river. That is the road over there. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to tell you about is I had somebody driving from a very far distance, almost, I would say about 500 kilometers, to come and spend a day with me. Now he's been, he did a course with Alan Savory 30 years ago regarding grazing management, and so he's been spending 30 years now developing his theory and practicing it with his sheep. His name is Jan Labaskachny, and he's going to start posting videos now as well. I encouraged him to open a YouTube channel, although he's still afraid of his English. I remember when I started publishing, I was also ashamed of my English, but I encouraged him to start making videos and publishing it. In any case, I heard some of his work before he posted some voice clips on WhatsApp, or maybe some videos on WhatsApp, and the people started talking about him. And the reason why I found out about him is also a question that I got 3 times or 4 times on my previous video, and I want to show you. I'm going to walk to a spot where they are prolific, but I want to show you this little shrubby thingy. So here we go. I actually made this video spoke for 10 minutes and then I realized my microphone dropped me for some reason. It just went dead. Anyway, so this little shrub we call onkruid, Tribulus terstris. Now in our language the word onkruid or weed means, if you take the root of the word, let me just turn the camera around. On is against or anti, and kruid is veg. So against veg or anti-veg is what we call all weeds in our language. And so the word even means against veg or bad veg or anti-veg, something like that. Now he changed the word from that he uses from onkruid to boukruid, to building veg. So a vegetable that needs to be built. Now this specific one, he explained to me that they label plants according to the amount of carbon they can sequester, and this one is very highly ranked. It takes a lot of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and then turns it into carbon in the soil. The other thing that it needs really warm temperatures. So as soon as your soil is extremely hot, then there is a living organism in the seeds that communicates to the living organisms outside, and it says this is now hot enough, this is now carbon deficient enough, you need to live. And then it does two things: it sprouts, it adds a crap ton of carbon to the soil, and then it also cools the soil down. That then in turn gives other seeds that's now lying on the ground that needs more carbon in the soil and needs cooler temperatures. They then speak to the outside, and then they get told, listen, okay, there's enough carbon here, the soil is fantastic, the temperature is okay, you can sprout. Now he believes there's this physical communication between organisms that's carried inside of the seed and organisms that's living outside of the seed. So if the seed gets made on the plant here, and this plant takes organism that survives in this harsh conditions, absorbs it and places it in the seed. Those organisms then live in there, and they communicate with the organisms that's outside until those organisms on the outside tells the ones inside this is the situation, and they can sprout. Now obviously that sounds incredible. I don't know whether it's true. He does spend a lot of time with doctors and what scientists, so I have no reason to doubt it. It just sounds incredible. So that's the first thing he does. The second thing he does, and I actually want to walk to the river to show you this, is he did the course, as I said, with Alan Savory 30 years ago. Started practicing these things on his land. Now where I am sort of a medium scale permaculture guy, he needs to be able to re-veg thousands of hectares that's degraded and turned that green again. And so the same way as Alan Savory did, he decided to use cattle. Now Alan Savory is a guy from Zimbabwe. Long story short, he believes in herd movement, and so what he did is he started using this herd movement, pushes all these animals together, starts moving them through this. Then at one stage the rain came, and one of his camps, this specific weed just popped up everywhere from corner to corner. Now normally it was just in the corner, but in this specific camp it was everywhere. And so we went back and see what happened. But while he was doing this, he also did some other experiments. So this sort of gave him a basis for what he's about to find out. Now before I heard what he's about to find out, just want to give you some backstory on my side. Now while I'm listening to this, I remember the Grow Aces box is a box, like a circle box, with a funnel in it, and I use that. It's a Dutch company. They use that Grow Aces, I'll put the name below, they use that to plant trees in very dry places. And in any case, I saw that guy use a little, something like a little hoe, and he cut the top part of the soil about this much, just almost like it's got two wheels and then like a little knife in the back. Just cut it open and roll it fine. And what he believed is this: in all soil, when water needs to evaporate, it follows a capillary action. So the top gets dry here, and then that sends a signal down to the soil below. I'm dry, the water comes up, capillary action, evaporates, and that sort of pumps, the sun sort of pumps the water then out of the soil and can go very deep. But what this Dutch guy explained is, what he does is he cuts it, he breaks that chain of capillary action, and the water goes up to where it's broken, and then it can't find a way out. So he uses the soil as mulch. And I saw this Dutch guy doing this, and I thought, okay, obviously it's true. I just don't know how to apply it. Where do you ever hoe a little bit of soil like this around your plants? Plus that kills all the weeds and stuff, and if you're mulched, if you have real mulch, then this becomes difficult. So I just put that in the back of my head. Back of the head story is a story for another day that I would like to tell you, while this guy was telling me this story. And the other thing that I know, and I know many of you know, is that when you have clay, the evaporation gets stopped by the clay on top. So you have a clay layer, and because it flakes up, that water can't reach the top. So the bottom layer of the clay stops. So there is definitely a place in clay where the capillary action gets broken. See here, there's wet, moist, there, but there on top it's dry. Okay, so he told me then what happened, and what he found out is he realized that on that specific land where all of this weeds came up, he moved the cattle when it was very dry. On the places where the grass was exploding, he moved the cattle right after it rained, because from one camp to another camp the weather changes. So he moved those cattle in there while it was wet, and they broke open the top bit of soil with their hooves, and that stopped evaporation. So the same thing, the same action, moving the cattle in the one camp, had very bad effects, and on the other hand had very good effects. And the only difference was basically the timing. So the one he moved after the rain, the other one he moved right before the rain. I want to break this clay open and see what it looks like. Here you can clearly see top it's dry, below it's wet, breaking the capillary action. In any case, okay, I quickly want to just show you the update of what the guys did today. Oh, a while ago I showed a big shearer thing that we used to cut off, that I wanted to buy next, and somebody said, I'm buying this for you, and they sent me a coffee, and I don't know who it was anymore, but I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Today I didn't only buy the one that I showed you, I bought a much better one, and I'm very thankful for that. The rain just disappeared. We had 5 drops. They say 20 or 200 mils. You have 1 drop of rain here, and then 200 mils further you have 1 drop of rain there. That is our joke when you say you have 200 mils of rain. So this is the dam that was made today. Tremendous amount of soil that was moved. That is the end of my story. I will see you tomorrow.